Afternoon, fret friends. We are the first project in my house. You already know I lost my workshop. The prior to give the premises up, so I decided rather than build a shed, it's going to cost me £2.5–3 grand to get a big shed out there and outside, and it's going to cost me money to heat it, whatever. I'll use one of the bedrooms in the house we rent, and because it's a rented house, I've laid extra carpet on top of the carpet that was already here because the landlady had put brand new carpet in this house last year with underlay and everything, good quality carpet. And I thought I'll go and get some good industrial kickback carpet. And what that does is it doesn't let any liquid soak through. Not that I work with liquids, but it's just to protect her carpet. Didn't cost me a lot of money. It cost me 70 odd quid. I fitted it myself, so that didn't cost anything either. And that's all done. So the workshop is far from finished. This is all I've done is cleared a room on a table. I've got boxes all over this need emptying. I'm in one of the spare bedrooms, like I say. But I just wanted to get something on video. So this is a guitar. The guy actually knocked on my door. I changed my address the day before on Google, and someone come knocking at my door, and I thought, well, I don't really do people at the door, but being as you're here, I'll take it. And it's from Nuttall, which is about 10–11 miles away. I'm in Sutton in Ashfield. I'm going to be working from this bedroom from now on. When I've kitted it all out, it's going to be the cheapest for me. But anyway, let's have a look at the guitar. So it is a Fender Telecaster, made in USA, and it is well played. Look at that. That is so well played and well worn. He said, but it's just not right. And I could see it's not right. It seems to have the wrong screws in the pickup there. They don't look right at all. They shouldn't even be, they should be cross-headed surely. They're all at an angle like that. They're not got in right. The action is as high as a kite. Frets wise, I've got no idea, but I've been thinking there's a lot of wear on these frets and they're flat on the top. So I've been thinking he's going to be getting fret buzz everywhere. I would be blown away if that doesn't need a fret level. And seriously, looking at how high the frets are, maybe it'll need a refret. I don't know. If it's a refret, it's going to have to go in the queue, because I've had a queue jumping in because it's coming for a setup. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at it, I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to play it, I'm going to get the strings off, I'm going to make sure I've got the electric, so I'm going to get the strings off and we're going to have a look at this pickup, see what the problem is. Look at there, the screws are all falling out here. So I'll find out what the problem is, find out why the pickup's all skew with, because it is. But look at that wear. Been well played this, and well loved. And we'll do that, and once that's done we'll have a look at the frets. It seems to have a bone nut in there, which looks alright. The action on the nut's fine. In fact, it's a little bit high, so it can come down a little bit there. So we've got room for manoeuvre. It's just, you know, what's this pickup saying? So let me get that done and I'll come back to you in a few minutes. So nice easy one. I've let him know the score. Right, he says, yeah, don't worry about that. He says, leave them. Screws says, yeah, I'm going to screw them in a bit. Get his pickup right. But what he said is just get the plank playing as best you can. I've relicked it myself. And just want it playing as best I can. So it's going to be one of these. Not rough when I get these in, but when I get them in I say I'm not guaranteeing any of my work on this, because you see, normally it's a matter of I'll tell you what the guitar needs, and if you don't agree, come and pick it up and take it away, because I'm not interested. But he just says, no, just set it up best you can for me to play it, and that's it. So I'm going to try and do that. Easier said than done. The pickup is way too close to the strings. So I'm happy, as long as he's happy. I mean, that is, it's diabolical, that is. It's diabolical. I don't like jobs like this because I'm not using my skills. I've managed to push that down a little bit more. It is so cockeyed. I can't get that pickup to change anyway, so I'm going to leave it where it is. No wonder action so high. I'm going to have to have a look at that. I'm going to get the strings off. I've looked at the electrics. I'm going to get strings off because I can't leave that pickup like that. I've got to get it in right. If it's not right, you may as well come pick this up. So you don't owe me out. Just take it away. Don't come back. You know, it can be one of them jobs. I'm here for another year. You know, I'm moving to Canada next year. It's going to be this year. It's going to be. You know, we're doing things, I like to do things right. But that pickup, if that pickup's not sitting right, I can't set it up right. If that pickup is touching the top of the strings, how can I get the strings lower? So I've got to get that pickup right regardless. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got Ross the dog, he's down here, the sun, I've got the sun coming in through the back window there. Good thing about this room, it has got good daylight, but it doesn't look like where I want it. I'm going to put a light up there later. I'm going to fix one to the ceiling, so it means I've got to screw some holes in the ceiling, which the landlord won't be happy about, but what can I do? What can I do? I've got to work. She knows I've got to work. She says I can work from my house, no problem, so that's great. Right, that's the strings off. Offed. So the problem is, this pickup, I'm going to show you in a minute, you'll see. It's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't like these just get played as best you can, blah blah blah, because I'm a perfectionist. I don't get played as best you can, I get it right. You know. That string's off, there you go, that's lovely. You know, I've not got in here yet, I've not got a trash can, rubbish bin. Dog don't know what I'm talking about, it's just laying there scratching, laying in the sun, having a great time. You alright there, Ross? Hey, good boy? You having a good time? Other people want to see you. People want to know who you are. This is Ross the good boy, by the way. He's just had operation. And yeah, he had a tumour removed a couple of weeks back. Tumour removed, biopsy done, 2 teeth out, cost 800 quid. 800 quid. Vets for pets, vets for profit. Crikey me. £350 just to give him his anaesthetic. I'm thinking, yeah, right. Not cheap, are they? But he's alright now, he's recovered well. Biopsy came back fine, it's not cancerous. On another lump he had, so that's good. So here we go. So this pickup needs to be in there proper. Now I'm going to have to, I'm going to take this, I'm going to get it. It's good to just brought this gear up. I've got the electric screwdriver on charge. Now hold on to the bits, here's the bits. Just get the thing off the computer. If we can. Take the bridge off. Take the whole thing off. Because that pickup ain't right. And I'm sorry. It's like saying just get it playing best you can. Transfer to heavy action if that's too high and it won't go lower. I'm going to put some correct screws in there. Do the job right. Always. Okay, let's have a look, see what the problem is here. Right, straight away. Why are they not pushing back down? I know, that's why. Because the rubbers has got underneath these pickups. They've got no spring back. Got no spring back in them. That's your problem. So I'm going to replace that with something. I'll have some springs to go in there. And it's what I'm going to do. Because these rubber grommets here, you can't see from where you are, but we've got these rubber grommets and the other spring's gone out of them. So I'm going to put some screws in there, or some new grommets. At my expense, just because I don't like to see, I don't like shoddy work. Who's that? Just checking that out. So I'm going to, right, I'm going to do this off camera because that's playing up a bit. I've got no screwdrivers up here, so I've got to find some screwdrivers. I'm going to get this pickup out properly, get some proper rubber grommets under there so we can set the action of a pickup correctly. Yeah, so there we go. And these grommets that are used instead of springs have had it, look, that one's perished. There's no pushback on that, there's nothing there. There's no way that that is going to push the pickup down far enough. So these are going in the bin. They are really old and they've had it. I've got some springs. I'm going to put some springs in here, 1, 2, 3, and get the pickup back in. We'll do it right round. What cracking me? You don't even want to see this wire in there. Just don't bother. I'm not even going to show you. Get that pickup back in a bit. We get some springs under there. We can get everything back together. Get it all done right. It doesn't want me to touch the frets, so I'm not going to touch the frets. I'm just going to get it playable as I can. It's not going to come back on me. you know, end of the day. It's just the way it is. But anyway, that's that. So I'm going to crack on with that, come back later when it's done. I sorted that out, and I'm going to show you the guitar. Where are we? What I've done is I've put two extra, let me just get rid of that, two grommets in there. As you can see on the photo, you should just be able to see. Two grommets and a new spring. I had two grommets, so I've gone with spring on one side, sorry, and grommets on that side, all done. So I'm ready to put that back in the guitar. So that's all, the pickup is now level and low, which is exactly how I wanted it. So I can stick these screws back in. That's the bridge sorted out now. So like I say, he just wants his playable. He is a Gibson man. He just told me that, just showed me all his gear. And he only wants this really just as a pickup and probably play once in a blue moon. He said just get playable, so it's not buzzing, and that's fine. You're happy with that. So there we go. So we're just gonna try and get his screws back in. Now the problem with this is these screwdrivers, that's pretty good actually. Screwdriver's very good. I got the wrong bit in it before. I'm going to finish it off by hand. I don't want to finish off with a screwdriver because it can knacker the screws. So I'm just going to finish off by hand, get them right in. And that's it, we're all in there. So that's the bridge done. Just for fun, I'm going to check the frets, but I'm not going to work on the frets. So I don't have a not straight edge here at the moment, it's downstairs. That neck is straight anyway, straight as a die. So I'm just going to go across with fret rocker, just have a quick look for myself. And they might be level. And so far so good. So I don't need to polish anything with this guy, I'm just going to get it set up, charge him his 50 quid, £5 for strings, and jobs are good. And those frets are actually level. So that is very good. So I'm not going to recrown them. I would have recrowned them normally and charged 135 quid including the setup and the strings. But he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it like that, I just want it, it says it's basically going to be a wall hanger. So there you go, frets are lovely, not a problem with those frets. So what I'm going to do is take string ends off, which you can't see. I know the guitar, the camera's supposed to be on the guitar now. I don't have a bin in here, so I'm just taking these out carefully. They've been double wrapped, of course they've been double wrapped, I nearly swore then. I should swear for being double wrapped. You know. That's out, and so I'm going to stick a set of Diodario 10s on here. I'll give them a little brush over these. I've got a fret rubber I can just go over these with. Just shine them up a little bit, not touching the fingerboard. Bit of grime in there, I don't think you'll want that moving. It'll probably like that there. So I'm going to leave that more or less as is. Put these springs back over there. So yeah, so I'm going to get a set of Diodario 10s on there. That pick up lovely and low now. That means we can get the saddles down lower. Just a matter of lowering these down a little. Get a nice low action. Which is what it's all about. And that looks pretty good. Just going to come up a little bit this side. See where we are. And that looks, yeah, looks pretty much bang on. Looks good to me that. I'll check every nut and bolt, test everything, and we'll get some strings on, get it set up. Oh, the electrics also are crackling, so I'm going to get some switch cleaner in there. I have some service all knocking about. I'm rushing at the moment. I've got nipped to Kirkby and Ashfield for a haircut, not a haircut for a month. Got some service oil switch cleaner, service oil Super 10. We'll get some of that in the pot so a little bit later. So I'll come and do that when I've had my haircut. So you guys hang around, and it'll be like I'll be back for you lot in an instant. You guys will have to make do with the light how it is. I found a fret rubber, which this is a Hosco one. I've never really liked these myself. I know some people use them, I don't as a rule, but I've got one that's quite worn in, so I'm just going to, rather than faff about getting steel wool out and covering pickups up, we can use this for a job like this for instance. Just get frets polished. You know, end of the day, paid for a setup, I'm going to do a setup, and that normally includes a fret polish as well. Now I know it's a relic guitar and he likes it looking tatty, but for players for frets are shining and level's going to play a lot better. And this doesn't take long. So in the next couple of days I'll be rigging some lighting up in here, putting some lighting up like I did at the studio at the last place. I've got another bench to bring in. Now I've got to replace the legs on it because I cut the legs shorter, and I was going to stick the 8" back on and bolt it and screw some supporting pieces on there. I thought, you know what, I'll just go buy some new. I'll just go a big piece of pine or whatever wood it is and just cut some new legs, cut to shape and drill them as I need them, and just put 4 new legs on. They're a lot sturdier, and it's not going to be expensive. The good thing about Wicks, who was only a mile away from here, the good thing about Wicks is they deliver anything for £7. So I can get cut in 4 equal lengths and go and deliver it, or I can go and pick it up. So all I've got to do with this next, or now, is going to get the control cavity off, going to clean the pots, get rid of that scratching. So that's the frets done, they look fantastic. They are a bit warm, there is some pitting on them, but it's beautiful, they look fabulous, they look really good. So once I've done this, got strings back on, we're going to cut the nut slots, and that's going to be it. Cut the nut slots, set the radius, set the action, set the amount of relief, make sure the intonation's alright, and that will be it. So not a lot to do on this. Screw, let's get these out. First, I'm going for my haircut in a second. I did mention that before, didn't I? I came back, I didn't come back, I didn't leave a room. I just thought I've got over 10 minutes yet before I need to leave. Where I'll be haircut is 10 minutes away in the car. And that's getting out of here, getting it parked up and getting to the hairdressers. I'll let my secrets out now. That's right, I don't go to Bob's, I actually go for the hairdressers. Right, there you go. So there is the electrics, all nice and standard on there. 2 different spec pots on there, so one of these pots has been changed. They are both CTS, just different. That's the vintage, that's the regular. I can tell by looking at them. What we're going to do is get some switch cleaner in there. It's just basically a squirt and a squirt and a squirt on the 5-way. Turn it back over, shove the wires in, get it in there and just give these a little wiggle. And they are now scratch-free pots. Just get them screws back in there, and that's it. I'm going to go now. I will catch you guys later. Okay guys, moving on. Now then, the lighting is a problem in here. Now I've got the lights up on the ceiling, but I can't find the main cable I've got to run down the side of the wall, which I will sort out in a bit. I've gone through all my boxes and I can't see it in there, but I have seen the main cable somewhere. So I'll sort it out later. But where we are with this is I've polished the frets, they look fantastic. And I'm just, like I say, tightening and checking over nuts and bolts and tightening them all. 10 mils on this end, just need a little nip. You don't need to tighten these up too much, you just need them to be holding. Now that one doesn't seem to want to go on there, but we know it's a 10. Because the 10 spanner fit, or does it fit? Well, I think we're as good as we're going to get on that one, but it's tight, that's good. And this one here, look, just a little nip round there. What have we got on there? I think it's got a little bit of something, a little bit of plastic or something on the edge there, so we're just going to... And these are all nice now, nicely nipped up. There you go, that's beautiful, that's all nice and tight. We'll check the tuners, they all feel nice. That was a little bit loose, so we'll just take a posi and we'll just give this end, it's not a posi, it's a flat. Need a flatty for this one. Which one is that? A little bit, just get a little tiny turn on there, and that's nice now. That's nice. So still a little bit loose. Little turn on the end there. And that's nice. And this one as well. A little turn. So all in all, structurally this guitar's fine now. We had a problem with this pickup not sitting straight, and that's because the rubber bungee, what's this, in place of springs, were all perished and knackered, and here's one of them, look at that. So we weren't able to lower the pickup enough. See that there? Rubbish. So we've been in all that rubbish there, look. There's the other one. None of them's any good. I had 2 of these bungees, so I've put 2 bungees back in, and I've used 1 spring. Now I do have a fantastic little unit here with loads and loads of drawers in it, and all my springs now belong in one of these drawers. One of these look great, and I'll just bang them back in there, the ones I've got left. And yeah, beautiful thing. So we are ready to put some strings on the guitar. Now, I don't know where my strings are. I do know where they are, I can see them down there. I bought a set of, in fact I buy them in bulk, I buy them in 25s from Stumac, and because I get free posting from Stumac, and they sit in this thing here. What a great piece of kit. It's got 25 sets in there, 25 sets of 10s, look. And I just stick that over on my bench, over in the corner out of the way there, and I can just pull the strings out as I need them. How good is that? Beautiful, isn't it? So I'm going to bang some 10s on. Once they're on, you'll see I've levelled this pickup. It's a little bit low on the far side, so I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. I've just gone and fetched a chair from charity shop, because I didn't have one for this workshop. Just going to bring this side up a little. Drop it down a little bit on the bass side. Have a look, see where we are there. Make sure we're in line with the strings. So we're going to follow a string line down, and I think that is looking pretty good. We may need to bring this up a little bit later on. I've gone quite low with it. I've set what I think is just about the right radius on the saddle screws. The neck is virtually level as I know. I've got to go downstairs, I found my not straight edge, they're all downstairs in my, I have a big tube with all my precision things in there. Frets are looking wonderful. Not clean fingerboard, because the fingerboard is not your playing surface, your frets are. Frets are comparatively, they're actually level all the way across. Not precision level, but level enough not to have to worry about anything. Now my worry would be with these frets, they are quite flat. I would have liked to take that flatness and recrown them. But that in itself, it's a long job. And it means recrowning, it means then repolishing the frets, which takes an age. And the whole job itself, including the complete setup, would be £135. And I understand why people sometimes don't want to pay that if they just want it as a player. It's not going to alter the way it plays, we're not going to get any fret buzz, and these frets are level enough. It's certainly the most level I'm happy enough to let these go as they are. It's only if you came and you wanted a proper setup, I would say, look, we need to recrown these frets, because they are all flat and they are getting a little bit low. And I dare say that if you played this heavily over the next 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 years time, this is going to need a refret. Now I'm not going to be here in 2 or 3 years time, I'm going to be in Canada next year, praise the Lord, so that's where I am with that. Check the electrics again, I've got some switch cleaner in there, I've had the guitar plugged in, no strings on, but I've had it plugged in, just tested everything. There's no scratching in the pots, no scratching on the 5-way anymore, so we know all the electrics are good. The pickup has been corrected, the radius and the saddles have been corrected. I've not checked the intonation yet, I'll check that with new strings on. I've also slightly altered the height of this pickup here. All I'm going to need to do is get some strings on, set the intonation, set the radius, set the action, set the neck, then go and have a look at the nut slots, because I think we can take these nut slots down a little bit deeper to give us a much lower and easier playing action. So that's where we are with this. So I'm going to turn off the camera, I'm going to try and find my mains cable for the strip light I've just put up there. Strip light is a little bit skew with, so I may come and move one end across a little bit. And I've got to remember where I've done that main cable, because it's got the 2 plugs on the end as well that I need. But anyway, that's another story for another time. I will get it sorted. We're going to get this guitar sorted. I can ring the guy, can come and pick it up at lunchtime today. Okay guys, do a final setup. I'm just going to whiz straight through it. And what I've just done is I've just set the radius on the saddles. Now, to do so, first I've checked that the height at the 12th fret is where I need it. 1.5mm on the treble side, 1.75 on the bass side. I've got a 9.5mm radius tool there. And what we do is we need to lay all the strings, to match the 9.5-inch radius there at the saddles, we need to lay all of the strings on top of this radius gauge. Now it doesn't fit in the slot there, so I like to set it here. And if it's set right here, it's set right there, and it's set right everywhere else, and it's set right here. So I'm just going to check, and I can just get this in at an angle, and I'll just have a quick check and I'm quite happy with how everything is there. Everything is sat just about on top of the radius gauge. So we have matched that radius there to the radius on the neck. So we are set. And now we're going to slightly eyeball it because we may need to just alter slightly. We could probably go a little bit lower on the middle one. So I'm just going to go, it's called about experience this, guys. I just want to have a nice sweep there. And I can probably bring this one down just a little bit. And that, to my eye, looks really good. So what we need to do then, again, is we turn on the tuner. I do have a rat tuner over there. You can't see it. Take my word for it, it's there. And we're going to bring it close to tuning. Now the guy's coming. He'll be in less than an hour. So I've got to dab in. First job in the workshop back at my new house, by the way. We moved to this house last July. We're on our 31st of March, year of our Lord 2023. I'm boiling down, that's why I'm struggling. So, we're more or less in tune. I'm not worried about tuning just yet. We're just going to check the height. And we're 1.75 on the bass, 1.5 on the treble. It's exactly where I'd like us to be. Now, what I've not checked is the amount of relief in the neck. And I'm hoping we have some. Well, they're not straight edge. I'm going to eyeball it. Have a look. That's quite a lot. Looks like I've got quite a lot there. So I need to grab a feeler gauge. I've got one out. I'm alright, clever lad. I want to be about 0.25 at the 6th fret, that kind of area. 0.25 millimetres. We deal in millimetres. We're metric in England. In fact, everyone's metric, just about, bar America. Trust them. Got to be different, ain't they? And boy, are they different. So let's have a look here, see where we are. So that, we've got too much relief in there. So I've got to tighten the truss rod up. And I do believe, sorry, I'm going to move the camera because I need to get these. I do have a set of 1/8 of an inch. And this being an American guitar, should be 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to move the strings over a fret, just so I can get in there and give that a little tighten. And I may have to raise the action slightly at the bridge again now. Let's see where we are there. And that has tightened the neck, and we should be straighten the neck even. And I'm happy with that, where that is. So now I think everything will go a little bit short now, but we're going to see where we are. I certainly like that better. Now let me come over here. I need to check the action again, and I'm going to check it in the playing position. And we are less than 1.75 there. Well, less than 1.5 there, so we need to bring the saddles up ever so slightly. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to turn every saddle, every screw, the same amount. I'm going to go half a turn on every one, because we know everything was set where we needed it to be. So I'm just going to put half a turn on each one, and if the height's right, everything else should be right. Yeah, we agree there. So let's see where we are now. 1.75, slightly over, with 1.5 there. You see, that's fantastic. And we know we've kept the radius the same because we've turned every screw by half a turn. I'm going to just, now because I'm eyeballing it, I'm going to bring that down a tad, bring that up a tad. And I'm going to say, that's a happy place. So I'm happy there, so everything should now be sharp. And it is. The reason I'm bringing everything slightly flat is I've got to stretch the strings yet. And this is the way I set up. It's as right as I know it is. Like I say, these videos are not how to or instructional. or educational. I mean, I know they are educational, and I know all you guys get a lot from these, but they were only ever intended to be for the client, for his records, and for me, for my records, and it just happens that you guys, when I start posting them, you like them. So I always declare now that these are not how-to or an instructional video. They are just for me and the client. And if you get anything out of it, brilliant, praise the Lord. So I'm going to have a look now at the action at the first fret, and we're still quite high. So I'm going to check where we are. Now again, I'm going to cut these nut slots. I'm going to do this off camera because I haven't got time to fanny about. But this side, once the setup's right, once we've got the right amount of relief, once we've got the action set at the 12th fret, we've got the saddles set where they need to be. Now I've not checked the intonation yet, I'm going to do that in a moment, but I'm just going to check the height above the first fret. And this side, the gap, top of the fret to bottom of the string on the bass side, I like to be around about 0.3. And on the treble side, around about 0.2. So let's see where we are. And we're, you know what, we're hardly anything high there. We're hardly anything high there. So I think I may leave these. And I'll let the owner have a play when he gets here. And if he wants it altering, we can alter it. But I think he's going to be pretty happy. So I've got a 0.25 here. And that looks pretty much bang on. And I'm looking for 0.2 on the far side. I don't need to change anything there. Grab me a 0.2, there's one about, so there you go, it's right there, look. And we check from the far side, and we're looking for 0.2 on this side. And if we're not too, you know what, I'm happy with where they are. So that is it, that is done. So all I really need to do now is check the intonation. Once the intonation is done, I'm going to stretch the strings in. Fortunately, I have a nice rack tuner there with strobe. That is as sharp as a razor blade. So I'm going to check the A, because these barrels are just a straight barrel, there's no intonation alteration, we have to do a best guess. Right, A is also sharp as a razor. So what we are going to do is we're going to move this away. Because we're sharp at the 12th fret, we need to move the saddle to the right, both 5 letters. If we're flat at the 12th fret, we need to move the saddle to the left at both 4 letters. It's a way I've always remembered it. Foolproof. You really can't mess that up. So, the E's right, A's a little bit sharp. So moving it back, we're probably going to have to alter the radius just a little bit. So I'm just going to take this a little bit more forwards because we want as close as we can get to both. Yeah, we agree there, and that's as far as we can move that saddle. So that's it. I would like, my guitar's got my telly's got compensated saddles. But it intonates perfectly. This will not intonate perfectly, we have to go as close as we can. My instructions were to get this playing as good as possible. So let's try. E is a little bit sharp. A is spot on. So that's the closest we're going to get. So we're going to try the others now. D is sharp, C is sharp. Right, I'm going to get these again, I'm going to go as far back as I can. These are, the good thing about it is if I'm moving it the same amount of distance as I did with the E, we're going to keep the radius, which is good news. My remit on this was to get the action, get everything that's play as well as it can possibly play, with the intonation set and the tuning right, with the lowest action. So that's what I'm aiming for. To me, that's a good setup. D's a bit sharp. Still both a bit sharp. And so I'm going to go as far as I can with this saddle. These saddles need changing. We need compensated saddles on here. We're not going to get this right. We're going to get it close. D's still sharp. G's still sharp. I can't move that saddle anymore, so it's as far as we can go. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring the strings a little bit lower. We're just going to check the B and the E. I recommend that the guy goes and gets the Wilkinson saddles, which are compensated, and you'll get a better tuning. Both sharp again. See how far back we can go with this. We're not going to go a lot. At the end of the day, we go about as much as we can. I can go a little bit more on the G, the D and the G. So that's as much as I can go on the D and G. You definitely need swapping out these saddles for compensated saddles. Otherwise you don't get the intonation right. Sounds like that's pinching in the knot. Because you get that little sitar sound here. It's actually okay now. So let's check the... That is as close as I can get everything. And that's with the saddles more or less all the way back. We need some compensated saddles here. Right, what else I'm going to look at? I'm going to look at the height of the pickup while I'm here. I'm going to bring her up. And I'm going to check the height, string height at the 12th fret again. And I want this pickup to be in line with the strings. So I want it to go the same angle as the strings are going. Well, that's pretty good. That's not bad at all, you know. Not bad at all, even though I do say so myself. I need to bring it down on the treble side just a little. Just a little. Let me see where we are there. And that looks pretty sweet. That looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. Maybe a little bit high. Again, let's just... Then without me putting the new grommets and the new spring in there, we wouldn't be able to do this. That looks pretty good, guys. I'm happy with that. Not bad at all. Now I'm going to check the action at the 12th again. We're fine on the treble side, the bass side, we're fine on the treble side. So I'll be saying we're pretty good there. Now in the playing position, because final setup is always done in the playing position. So all pretty good. All we need to do now is stretch the strings in, which I'm going to do off camera. We'll stretch the strings in, get it back in tune, and I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to play it. But for all intents and purposes, this is now set up. And here we are, guys. This is the first one out of the new Sutton and Ashfield workshop. And it's a USA Fender Tele Standard out of Corona, California. Came in needing a setup, needing a good setup. Not much else. It needed the electrics, just a squirt of switch cleaner in there. Needed a good setup, needed everything set in. So what we've done is we've removed the whole bridge piece, reset the pickup because it was sat at a wrong angle. The rubber grommets inside that hold the pickup and bring it higher and lower, they had perished. There was no spring in them, so we had to redo the pickup underneath, put some new grommets in there, one new spring in there. We've got the pickup set perfectly now. We've reset the saddles. We've also straightened the neck to where we needed it to be. We've set the intonation as close as we can get it. Now there is a problem with intonation, I'll tell you about it in a minute. But we've set the pickup height there is, it's a little bit high, but the rest of it is fine. Didn't need to cut the nut slots. We've tightened every nut and bolt. Just need to check these strap pins. That one's a bit loose, we'll tighten that up in a second. But that is it. We've cleaned all the electrics out, get some switch cleaner in there, everything works fine. These were crackling, they aren't anymore. Guitar set up as well as I can set it up, but I do, however, recommend that these saddles are changed. And you want to go and get yourself some of those Wilkinson compensated saddles. You can even buy the whole bridge unit if you want. It's about 25 quid. I've got one on my Telecaster, it's superb. And these are compensated, so you can set the right intonation. We are a little bit sharp on all 6 strings, only a little, but I've got it the best I can. The frets were level. I would recommend the frets in the future either need recrowning or maybe 2-3 years down the line when they are a bit more worn, you'll probably need a refret. I will not be doing the refret. I will not be here. I will be living in Canada. So that's the way it is. But there you go. First one at the Sutton in Ashfield workshop, and this is where I'm going to stay until I move to Canada in 2024. All the work now is coming out of Sutton in Ashfield. But that's it. That's the first one done. So until the next one, as always, just before I go, remind you our website. Best place is Facebook, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I am Victor. I am your fret friend. Until next time, as always, God bless you. Be good to each other. And I'll see you in the next one.